I'm back with another bug, this time a potential save breaking bug. Hello, my name is Jennifer and welcome to my Sims 4 news video. So this is about moodlets disappearing after you save and quit your game and go back into the game. So Crinrict did this tweet: I would not play legacy saves at the moment, and any saves that you like, even if they're not legacy saves. Any loved saves. There could be more issues that haven't surfaced yet, and the moodlet issue is breaking saves. I'd advise to put them aside for now and play another save game, build some, create some sims, or just fiddle around with some of the features. Now, an added thing that I would suggest is if you have sims you absolutely love to play with, you could go save those sims to your library, save their house to your library, don't save the game, and then create a new save and put them in there and do something different with them that you wouldn't do in your usual save. Another thing that someone came back and said is that they're going and playing a different game right now. Do that. If you don't, if you don't want to play with all of these bugs, which is understandable, but those are some things that you can do. Crin then came back and had said, I'm at the top one, where they were trying to understand everything and had a talk with some modders. Saves can break if you saved your game after moodlets disappeared, but only with a few moodlets. Break means that certain aspects won't work properly, and recovering saves might be necessary. So hopefully you backed up your saves. You can also recover up to the last 5 times that you saved on any save. But if you've been playing a lot and saving multiple times, you may not be able to go back far enough with that. So hopefully you did backups before the update. So at one point, Lumpanow had said it wasn't game breaking. They were trying to get attention to the issue, but it is, and it's still better to be safe than sorry. Plus, who knows if there could be other issues. But Turbo has made a mod, and this links to the forums, but I am going to just talk about the his Patreon post. It describes things quite well there too. And is it safe to play your legacy with that? Use Turbo's mod and keep backups until EA fixes the bug, or play another save until EA fixes the bug. The other thing to keep in mind is that, from what I can gather, Turbo's mod does not fix if you've already had a problem with it. It's going to help you going forward. So keep that in mind too. Just using it with the current version of your save, if you've already played and had an issue, maybe not known to you issue, because you might not realize it, it's not going to help with that probably. So here is the bug report. At the time that I got this first screenshot, the Me Too count was 434 people. It did go up. I'll share that after, but here is the description. Wait for a sim to get a moodlet, then save. The moodlet will be gone the next time you load in. So any moodlet your sims have will disappear. That's not actually true. There's a few moods that stay regardless, and it depends on what type of moodlets there are. But it is true that many will disappear. And if you looked at my thumbnail, my sim didn't actually have that many moodlets in that case because they had already been cleared and I hadn't been in the save very long. But the first picture at the top was, I had them try for a baby. So there was like all the moodlets from that. And then I saved and quit my game, and actually fully quit my game, closed it fully, and then opened it back up. And then there was like 2 moodlets at that point, including the pregnancy moodlet, though I've seen some people say that there are issues with that. I didn't play the pregnancy all the way through, so it seemed like it was fine, but perhaps if you play it further, there can be issues with it. I'm not really sure what moodlets can cause issues. There is a little bit from Lumpanow, which I'll get to, but here's the Me Too count. Under 12 hours later, it had gone up to 681 having that problem, and I'm sure that's going to be more by tomorrow, which is a very high count in a very short time period because it went up Saturday. And I don't know when, but it went up Saturday, and I may have even seen it and not thought anything of it because moodlets, how's that important? Very, very important. Also, people probably weren't aware that the moodlets were disappearing because if you were playing, I had 8 sims. I didn't notice really the moodlets were disappearing until this was brought to my attention. And as soon as it was brought to my attention, I was like, oh, and I went into my game and I was like, yeah, I actually don't have as many moodlets as my sims normally would have when I'm playing because I usually have to pull it out and it's really, really long, and it wasn't like that. But I played a little bit and then I saved and quit and came back in, and sure enough, there were less. But there were some, because some don't disappear, as this post here on this EA Answer Headquarter Bug Report by Lumpanow explains. So these are conclusions from discussions of the modding community, in this case involving mostly Lot 51, Adi Bindigo, Lumpanow, and Mizurayuki. So this is a patch issue and not a mod issue. It affects all temporary commodity buffs, EAs, and mods. It's not only a cosmetic problem, moodlets disappearing upon reload, it also is a gameplay problem. So the loot on removal of buffs do not run due to it being removed. So if a player saved and exited before the buff expired, that means that various processes will never happen properly if a user leaves the game before the moodlet buff runs out of time. So, some don't matter, but some do. There are over 500 EA moodlets, which are temporary commodities and use loot on removal. Some are very short, but a significant amount of those have durations between 120 and 10,000 sim minutes, which makes it easy for a player to save and exit before the buffs are gone and therefore have gameplay issues, things not firing. Here are some examples that can break, therefore they're not going to list all the 500 buffs, which it's more, just a few that gives a sense of the problem. If a player saves and exits during these, their stuff won't work. So you get investments from the business career. Grounded sims will never be ungrounded. There's a fear of being judge tracker, so they'll never get rid of that. Food poisoning recovery has some issues. Fear ghost affects gross ghost proximity, and there's an ownable business employee quit cooldown that lasts 10,080 sim minutes, many sim days, and removes a trait at the end, which will not be removed with this bug. So there's over 500. That's a very, very short list of them. So it also affects some mods, but that's not relevant to EA for fixing threads, for bug fixing threads. But obviously, if this bug was fixed, then it would also help in that case too. So again, Crinrict reiterating the best thing is to not touch your legacy saves. And in my case, I'm going to say any saves you like a lot and just play around with features, or as I said, play with something else, because I did see someone suggest that. So Turbodriver, as we said, made a mod. On the EA Answer headquarters, it links to the forums there also, but he also has it on his Patreon, but it's free. Someone asked some questions about it, and this was Turbodriver's response. You're fine just playing the game with the mod fix installed, but the mod can't fix what was already saved over. If you already saved your game over a broken save with missing moodlets, those moodlets will not come back. So you might have some issues. It depends on what went missing. And since we don't have the list of the ones that actually cause issues, it's kind of hard to know whether you're going to have the issues. If you believe things broke, it's best to recover your save. And if you don't think you saved over missing moodlets, then just continue playing. So if you can think about what you did and you think you're fine, I guess keep playing. I'd still recommend, if you use mods, to add his bug fix mod. And if you don't use mods, I personally wouldn't recommend playing any of your legacy or saves you care about at all. So here is Turbodriver's Patreon post, which I think describes it pretty well, so that's why I wanted to share the actual write-up here. So one of these bugs involves moodlets with timers. Any moodlet with a timer, visible or invisible, would permanently disappear after you save and quit the game. Many moodlets are critical for many features in the game to function correctly, so them just disappearing like that is very problematic. This affects both the base game moodlets and modded moodlets. So thankfully, they figured out how to fix it. Below, it's a small fix download that will bring back saved moodlets and keep them after saving. Just place the script mod in your mods folder and you're done. So there I'm a little bit confused because it says it brings back saved moodlets and keep them after saving. Whereas the other one said, like, if you saved and it's broken, it can't bring that back. So it might just depending on the timing on whether it's going to bring it back or not. So also remember that once we get a game patch for this that corrects the issue, to remove this fix mod. And there it is. And this is a base game issue, not for the Crystal Creation stuff pack, just to reiterate that there. And one thing I can't remember what I said because I actually had an issue with my microphone. So if I'm repeating this, I did not see anything from EA, either from Sims Direct or EA Cade, commenting on this. My guess is that's because they're doing things behind the scenes to try and figure out what to say about it. I did see EA Cade comment on another recent post that's in the same time frame, so I can't imagine that this has not been seen with all those Me Too's on it, and if it's growing as quickly as it did. So maybe we'll get something later today by the time this video is going out, that we'll get something from them. Maybe we'll even be lucky and get an emergency fix for it, since we have, Turbodriver's come up with a fix. Though sometimes EA fixes things differently than how modders fix things, which I think is why it can take longer for them to do it, but we shall see. I think I said, but I'm going to just talk about and show the bugs from my previous video. I'm not going to talk about them much, but there were a couple here that had some mods. One that needs to be tested, and just another one. And another one that Crinrict did a blog post for. So the first one is the game crash from stacking items. Those were things like the brooms and the wands in particular, but other things too. So testers were needed. Deeds Coffee for that has made a small mod based on the info posted in the bug thread for the broom stack crashes. So they're looking for testers for that mod. However, if you use Twisted Maxi's Better Build By, it fixes the stack crash as well. So obviously you're not going to be able to test because you'll already have it fixed, but make sure you have the most recent version of Better Build By and the most recent version of all your mods. And some mods have had multiple updates, so you need to check them. I know MCCC, from what I could see, only had the one update. From what I can see, the whatever number, the 0.1 hotfix of whatever number it's currently on. But yes, make sure if you're a mod user that you're using your mods, as unlike me, who I've taken all my mods out, but I'm planning on putting Turbo's mod in my game to fix this issue if I need to, that you're keeping up on your mods. Discord is a really good place to do that if you want to look directly, but the other really, really good place is either Loose mod list on EA Answer headquarters or Scarlet's mod list. Those are very good sources. And Deaderpool has like a mods channel that shows the updates. I have that actually going into my own Discord. So if you don't want to be in a really big Discord and prefer a small one, you can come join my Discord. Links are down below, and you can see those updates directly there. But the thing with Loose List, which I like a lot, is it's very organized. So you can look at it all in one spot, the different types of mods, and it says re-updated and when it was, so you can really get a lot of information from that. But so here is Crinrict's blog post about the issue with not being able to gift or give food items. And now this can cause issues with a lot of interactions, and this list isn't conclusive. There could be other things, but here are some of the many examples of issues. So they fall from the queue with these things: gifting something to another sim, giving food to a toddler from inventory, interaction on the toddler, giving a gift for charity. I noticed that specifically for scouts, contributing to pack resources, i.e. with the werewolves pack, offering servings of food to specters in the paranormal career, i.e. paranormal stuff, giving food to NPCs for village errands, especially Agatha, which is a cottage living thing, eating a grilled cheese in space for the grilled cheese aspiration, which is a hidden aspiration, but you can unlock it, and that is something that fails. Offerings to the statue at uni, that's Discovery University, obviously. Offerings at the altar of the secret society, also Discovery University. Fertilizing plants, gifting veggie meat meals to birds and rabbits, which is cottage living, and submitting pies to Finchwick Fair, also cottage living, and I have experienced that, and I've experienced a few of these issues. There are probably many more interactions affected by this. Basically, everything that opens a picker menu where you're choosing things. So the cause is if you are picking an object and it fails, the whole interaction is canceled. So this happens if you have the following things in your inventory and the list is not conclusive. If you have prepped or spoiled food, and also if you have paintings. And I did see someone comment that if they had kids' drawings, that caused the issue too, but not the drawing that you get for completing your first day at school with Discover University. I had that in my inventory and it didn't have an issue, but it also wasn't something that my sim crafted, right? It's just a picture, not something that you painted. So the paintings is, I think, paintings your sims make. And there's the related exception, because doing this, I have so many last exceptions from this. I moved them out, but there was a lot. I've been getting a lot of them. So here's a quote unquote solution, but it's more if you're trying to feed your toddlers, you can feed the toddler from your inventory by grabbing a serving for Joshua, since the option isn't on the toddler. So you can still do it, but that's how you would do it. And there's just, if you want to see it, if you want to see more details on these bugs that I covered in my previous video, I suggest going back there. But one thing I'm going to mention here that I showed in the previous video is this patch is messy and it's a lot of work to keep the bug form clean. So please, before reporting an issue, remove your mods, delete the local thumb cache file, test again with your mods out. And when they say remove your mods, they mean take your mods folder and take it out of your The Sims 4 folder, put it on the desktop, anywhere. Disabling them in the game options doesn't do the same thing. Test again, check the compiled list and the first 2 posts or pages of the forum. If you're unsure, use the game issues instead. If you're unsure it's a bug, use the game issues. If it's thought to be a bug, it will be moved to the bug forum. You might be tagged to add like the bug template to it. And if you are, do that, because that's what they kind of need to have to be able to get all the details. That's what that template is there for. And also, if you have any of the issues, either from the previous video or this particular video, I highly recommend going over and adding a Me Too. And if you have anything constructive to add, comment that on the list. If you want to vent, go to one of the general discussion areas and vent over there. Though even that, I would say you need to be kind of constructively venting, but just venting clutters up the bug forum post and also makes it not as easy for them to actually see what's, relevant information to help them solve the issues on the bugs. But now one other thing, I don't usually say this, but I do have a Facebook group and I try and keep that updated as these things go on. This one was such a quickly moving thing that I just kept updating there. And so if you want to get stuff sooner, I tend to post there as I'm seeing things. And then as I understand it more, then I'll do a video afterwards. So if you are on Facebook and want to come check that out, go over there. I'll have that link down below too. But that's actually going to be it for this video. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!